morning once again. This is a One Africa mission, and we are just going to have some discussion with some teachers of Dungu Anglican. On my immediate right is Mr. Samson Chuma, and the next person is Mr. Idris Habib Gun. Today we are just going to talk about the continent Africa, the unity of Africa, and the whereabouts of the Africans in the diaspora. It is believed that Africa have most raw materials in Africa, but still Africa is not developed. When we say Africa here, we mean the continent that is dominated by the black race, people with black skin. Though not all Africans are black. So, Mr. Samson, I don't know, do you think there is much we should do to develop these raw materials into finished products to help in developing Africa?
Thank you for this privilege, and it's an honor to speak on this platform this morning. And there's much that can be done. A lot can be done. And we said that Africa is blessed with enormous natural resources such as the gold, the diamond, the dynamite, uranium, and other stuffs. But that is another thing. Having it, making good use of it is another thing. And anything we say raw, meaning that it has to go through a lot of processes to become finished. Then we can use it for the purpose by which our Maker gave it to us to use it for. So looking at things, a lot needs to be done, because most African countries carry these raw materials just like that to countries or nations in the other continents that can process them for them. And when it comes, the percentage that they take is even far bigger than the one that we receive in return, even though the goods or the resources is given to us by God, not to them, but just because they have the ability to process it, they take the largest share. So in this case, I think a lot have to be done. And looking at it, one thing is that we have to consider the willpower. Okay. The willpower. Do we have the will to process this? And if we have the will, then that means that steps can be taken from there. So if the whole African continent will have that willpower to say, no, these resources, we are not going to sell it the way it is. We have made up our mind that this thing must be done here, it must be processed here. Then that is where the first step begins.
Okay. Thank you very much. Talking about willpower, Mr. Idris, I think the colonizers of Africa still have much influence over our natural resources. If you agree with me, people think that for Africa to have the willpower, as Mr. Samson said, we should be united. Do you think Africa can be united?
For Africa to have a willpower, we have to be united. I think the willpower is what we lack or let me say it in a more broader perspective, is the leadership we lack. That is why colonizers are still using our resources more to the benefit of their states than us. Yes. Let me make some reference to Dubai and Nigeria.
Okay.
Nigeria is very rich in oil or carbohydrate deposits, carbon deposits, or hydrogen deposits, and these are the sources of oil and gas. Nigeria discovered oil several years before Dubai, but Dubai is doing very well with their oil and gas. Not just because Dubai have them in large deposits than Nigeria. I watched some videos of some nationals of Dubai making reference between their dealership and that of Nigeria. Their main issue is that it is not just the resources, but it is the leadership. Dubai has grown very far ahead of Nigeria because of what leadership. Nigeria has never stopped producing oil since they discovered. They have them in large deposits, but Dubai has been able to overtake Nigeria because they have leadership.
Okay.
They are provided. Now, if you look at the GDP of Dubai, what contributes more to their GDP is not oil. It's tourism and other sectors, the service sectors and tourism. Now oil is in the back because they know this is renewable. It has end, it has limitations. There will be a time where they will know the oil deposits again. Even if there will be, there's just new discoveries, but not where they have explored before. In Nigeria, the oil continues to contribute larger portions. Are you getting the difference? If you look at Ghana and then Cote d'Ivoire, the two countries combined, I think world supply of cocoa, we can take more than 30% of the world supply. Ghana and then Cote d'Ivoire alone. But yes, so we don't have much stake in products that come from cocoa. We rather import a lot. What is happening? It is the West, or where people don't even have cocoa. They don't grow cocoa in their land, but they produce them in large quantity. What happens? We only export the raw to them, and rather go back and buy the products in higher cost. So in essence, you see that we are spending more on what we have. In terms of what we are going to consume, we will spend more rather than trying to produce. If we produce and add value here, it will be much cheaper to us here than selling it raw to them and then following them there to buy the products. Okay. We are spending so much, and this one I don't blame the colonizers as much. I don't just blame them much. This is human society. You always want to grow. You want to grow. If Africans also get the opportunity, some of us will do worse. What we have to know is that, look, you are lagging behind. What is the problem? Leadership. Let's find it. Leadership should take the role. What is it? What are the things that these people have taken? What are the steps have they taken that to grow to this point that they are? Let's take similar position and grow. That's the best way we can defend our resources. They will always come with different trade arrangements. And if you are not well positioned, you don't have the know-how, you don't have the technology, you have the material, you give it out. So here you will not be talking of any advantage because you don't have the competitive edge. You only have what we call comparative advantage. You give them what we have and take the small dollars that they will give you. But they have the competitive advantage because they have the know-how. So our leadership has to show what it takes to be a leader.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Gunu, for your submission. You made reference between Dubai and Nigeria.
Yes.
And I think Dubai is not a Western country.
It's
not a Western country. So that means we can't attribute our failure of Africa to the colonizers of the West alone.
Not at all. But you see, the history behind these things is that even during colonialism, it wasn't only Europe that was here.
Okay.
Yes, the structure that we have now predates the independence of Ghana.
Okay.
While the Europeans were ruling us, the whole sector of our markets were dominated by the Syrians and Lebanese.
Okay.
Syrians and Lebanese, which come from the Asia.
Okay.
So that structure is still there. If you go to our big shops in Ghana, the Syrians, Lebanese, let me just say the Asiatic companies, those companies that come from Asia, they dominated it. They were not governing us. They were not ruling us. They were not colonizing us. But they dominated the market. And that is still happening. Yes, it's still happening.
Thank you very much. Mr. Sampson, let me come to you. Talking about the unity of Africa, and we have about 54 states in Africa, if I'm right. Can Africa be united to have one leadership on the continent? Talking about a leadership with one currency, one military, something like America. I think America have about 50 states, right? So I don't know. Do you vision Africa coming together to have one leadership with one military and one currency?
We wish and we pray so, but I don't see it in. I don't see it so soon, and as I don't see it so soon, I don't know under which generation it will happen. Because if you look at the whole process, my brother spoke about the issue of leadership. And if you look at leadership issues, leadership has problem because of followership. Out of the multitude of the people, one is taken to lead. Not all sheep lead the flock, but one.
That's true.
So if the one was among the flock and say our leader is not this, our leader is not this, the moment they pick that sheep or that follower to become the leader, the same thing you see that the predecessor was doing, the same thing that happens. So you see that the cycle continues. It's a cyclical matter. So if you look at Africa being united, I doubt it now. Number one, how are we going to unite? In which form, in which sense? We are talking about military, one government, one currency.
One currency.
If you look at this thing, still Africa, even in Ghana, as we sit, currency issue has been a challenge. If I have cedis, why are we comparing cedi to dollar? What has it got to do?
Okay.
Why? Because we are eating from them. Everything about ours is about them. What we wear is about them. What we drink is about them. What we eat is about them.
But I think dollar is a global currency. In almost the world market is dollar they use.
Almost the world market, because almost the world is eating from them.
Okay.
If not almost the one is eating from them, then why?
Okay.
Some countries broke out to form what we call BRICS.
Yeah.
You only hear their name today, tomorrow you never hear their name until another thing happens. Nothing is happening.
Okay.
So it's not easy to form one currency in Africa. It's not easy to form one government in Africa. It's not easy to have one military.
Okay.
Because we are people who have their own interests, not the interests of people.
Okay.
And I'm telling you that before we can do that, if we are united, that would be a dangerous weapon to those who are feeding us.
Yes. Yes.
I said they are feeding us. I will say no, they are not feeding us. But
Very dangerous weapon against them. Right?
they are using
Dangerous weapon against them.
Yeah, it will be a dangerous weapon against them.
I think if 54 states can stand united, no one can go against them in the world. Because
nobody can, and that is why it can happen. So anybody who take a step to bring that unity, they will not come themselves to fight that person, but they'll use ourselves,
our own people,
to fight, and that is why they will succeed every time.
Okay.
So there are leaders who came. Nkrumah came. We never saw the light of his day.
Okay.
Nelson Mandela, he came. We never saw the light of his day.
Okay.
All those people we can talk about. A lot of them, we never saw the light of their day. There's no any material moment that we can say this is how far they brought us in Africa. This is how far they have united us. Even ECOWAS, how many countries? They can't even stand together. Some have to break away to form a Sahel.
Okay.
Why? How many have? So the issue is that everybody has an interest. Everybody has an interest. And it's all about hunger. It's about stomach. All that we are just talking about here. these European countries or those United States of America, if you look at them, number one, they are disciplined. Citizens are disciplined. Africa, we have a lot of discipline among us. You just find people just want to say it is me, it is me.